Hey guys, Edgar here, Guns for Everyone. I was going to make a video about SB25-003. Isaac and I were having a conversation about this over the weekend. And then almost as soon as we stopped having this conversation, CSSA uh, made a post on their social media saying that they had a big announcement. We already knew what it was. As soon as they said they were going to have an announcement, I mean, it's kind of obvious what they were going to do. So that's awesome. So I want to talk about that, but first, I want to tell you guys about a little group that we set up with the intent of helping you guys learn or navigate or get some information about how to advocate for yourself. How to advocate for yourself. I did it on that platform. It's new. They've been promoting a ton, and it's called School. And I'll bring it up here so you guys can kind of check it out. You're going to be seeing my version of it, but it's skool.com/2a hyphen self hyphen advocates. And this is just the idea of a place to learn how you as an individual can strengthen freedom by advocating for yourself. We highly believe in humans advocating for themselves. That is the way. Obviously, there's groups that serve a purpose. There's groups that do stuff. Again, we're going to talk about CSSA. Obviously, they're doing stuff. Gun Owners of America, the NRA, Guns for Everyone. I'll throw us in there. But if you don't do anything, then nothing really happens, right? Now you have an entire population relying on a certain amount of groups doing the work for you, and it is better when humans advocate for themselves because there's more of you than there are organizations. So we started this group. The intention is let's learn and let's teach each other how to advocate for ourselves instead of relying on organizations to do it for us. So just wanted to promote that. We also have our own legal fund coming up. We have our own lawsuit. So gunsforeveryone.com/legal fund. Please help us out with that so we can sue. We're suing on the training requirements here in the state of Colorado. We don't have the money that other people do, so it's not as awesome for us to do the lawsuits, but we're doing the lawsuits. So please help us out with that stuff. But at any rate, SB 25003. What is it? What does it do? A lot of you guys have heard about it. A lot of you guys already know what's going on. So I want to talk about that, give a little recap, and then talk about the lawsuit that CSSA has. There's not much to talk about other than they're suing the state of Colorado. But I did want to give some room for that. But if you haven't become familiar with what this law does, I'm going to put it up here on the screen for those of you guys that are watching this. The big thing that I wanted to talk about was how this gets rid of the grandfather clause for the magazines. So a lot of people are like, "Well, we'll still have the grandfather clause, and everything will still be okay." And the reality is that it won't. We won't have the grandfather clause. Grandfather clause is going away, and this can be seen on page 18. Page 18 of this bill. It says Section 8 in Colorado Revised Statute 1812 through 302, amend 1A as follows. 1812 302, large capacity magazines prohibited. Um, Penalties, exceptions, blah, blah, blah. That's the name, except otherwise provided in the section. They are striking out where it says on and after July 1st. That's essentially what gave us the grandfather clause. This is now striking that. So now it's just going to say a person who sells, transfers, or possesses large capacity magazine commits a class 1 misdemeanor. It's no longer class 2, it's a class 1 misdemeanor in the state of Colorado. So we don't have that grandfather clause anymore starting August of next year, August 2026. This bill also creates the permission to buy. So the permission to buy, if I'm not mistaken, this is page 6 or page 6. Here we go, section 5. This does not apply to the humans who are doing this. So it tells you all of the persons: a person who a transfer sale, semi-automatic, receive purchase by a person who completes a hunter education course. So they're going to ban guns, semi-automatics. It's more nuanced than that. It's not as easy as just semi-automatics, but for the purposes of this video, semi-automatics, please read the bill for yourself. So if you complete that hunter's ed course, um, within 5 years before making the purchase, complete an extended firearms. So there's different things about the course. This class is developed by CPW. CPW is the one that has to develop the course. The law gives it a guideline on what it needs to say and what it needs to have, but CPW itself is the one that's doing it. You would have to ask the government for permission. Your local sheriff asks for permission. They will essentially give you a permission slip, and then that's when you can go to an instructor, a verified instructor, to take a class. Once you take that class, then and complete it successfully, the instructor submits your information to CPW. When I say information, your test information. Once you successfully complete the course, the verified instructor submits that information, and then you can go buy guns. Isaac and I talked about this, and initially we said that we're going to provide the class for free, and hopefully we can use 8 hours of your already concealed carry class. And then that way you would only have to do 4 hours for those of you guys that need to do an extended course, because you have to do an extended or a basic, depending on where you're at with your hunter's ed. And in these conversations that we had over the weekend, this text, Isaac says, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Not do the class for free. That's easy to a degree. Just doesn't We just don't want to participate in this process anymore. At some point we have to apply some level of conviction to what we're saying. At some point we have to practice what we preach. At some point we have to sacrifice what we're asking other people to sacrifice, and participating in this fucking scheme and this is horseshit. So instead we're encouraging guys to look at real ways and practical ways for you to not follow the law. I don't know what that means for you. I don't know what that means for you. If you read the law, um, there's really nothing in this law that says that you can't go buy guns out of the state of Colorado, and bring them back here to Colorado. In fact, a lot of, well, this doesn't make it real, but a lot of governors from neighboring states have already said, "Hey, fuck, well, we'll take it." Um, let me verify this before I say this, but that's where we're at. I'm just trying to do some research while I do this. This is one of the things that I constantly do is just fucking send it and then do it live. Fuck it, we'll Bill O'Reilly the shit out of this. Many governors are trying to ask for our sales. They're saying you guys in Colorado are kind of fucked. Come on to our state and do it there and buy the guns there. Colorado residents. Sorry, guys. So as I get the information right here, that's where we're at. We're just encouraging guys to look for a way to kind of push back. And this is tough. This is difficult because we're asking friends, we're asking gun stores to not to not sell guns. We're asking people to sacrifice. We're asking people, and here's the thing: retailers here in the state of Colorado can sell out of state, and I know that that's asking people to um, change their model and change their business plans and change the way, and it affects humans. It affects humans, but at some point we have to make decisions, and this is why it's so difficult for me to even say the words because I have to find the correct way of saying it because I'm empathetic with this idea of a lot of you guys are going to lose money. A lot of you guys are going to lose a way of life. A lot of you, there's already stores. Robert Butler, Butler, uh, he owned a store down in Pueblo, Knas Tactical, and he just recently shut down. Now he's doing some racing stuff, which looks pretty cool. Go support that. I know of other gun stores that were not as well known as Butler, and they went under. There are some stores that are already in that position, and they were last year and already in a position just because of the economy. But now you couple this with other stuff, and it's gonna get fucking rough. New licensing schemes for at a state level. So yeah, we're asking you guys to not do what you do. Change your business model. Here's the problem: we adapt, we start complying, we start doing what the bill says, and all they're going to do is just pass more laws. All they're going to do is just do it again because why? Because you'll just follow the law. You'll just comply. At some point you'll just do it, and there's no consequences for them. CSSA is suing the state of Colorado, and yeah, there is confirmation. Out of state transactions, the bill does not criminalize a resident traveling to another state and buying one of these firearms where it is legal. Colorado law only applies within this board. Yeah, so it is not illegal for you to bring it back to um, buying it in a different state, but bringing it back is where it becomes one of those weird things. Um, and we'll see how that goes. But buying in different states in itself is not illegal. Bringing it back is where it gets a little bit more complex. We'll have our attorneys read this. We'll read this. We'll dig deep into this, and we'll kind of give you ideas on what to do and how to apply the law in a way where it doesn't affect you, where you're not risking going to jail. Call it a loophole, call it whatever the fuck you want. A lot of people are afraid of saying loopholes, and the thing is like I'm not going to tell you to do stuff that's more risky than it is beneficial for you. I know where what my threshold is. Isaac knows what his threshold is, but you have to figure that shit out on your own. But at some point, we have to say enough is enough, and obviously, 1776 is not one of the things that I am pushing for because I'm not willing to be the first one to start it, and but I am willing to sacrifice in other ways. I am willing to sacrifice in pushing the limits of the law, even if it does mean going to jail, even if it does mean sacrificing business, even if it does. Well, we're a 501c3, but you don't know what I mean. Even if it means sacrificing one of the only reason why we still do the concealed carry classes and we're participating in that is because we've met thousands upon thousands of humans who are in need of the permit, not a want, not a desire, not a like, oh, it'd be nice. They're actually in need of carrying a gun because of life threatening stuff. That's the only reason why we do it. The purchasing of a firearm, there's other ways within the law that humans can acquire firearms, and we just no longer want to participate in that stuff. I hope the lawsuit with CSSA is successful. I'm going to bring that up. Uh, Lawsuit. And so, Colorado federal law. challenges. I'm actually gonna do it from theirs. Hopefully, I can find their website. Finding their website is. Yeah, I don't have their website, so maybe I'll find a link directed to them. But here is an article about it if you guys want to go read it. This is from CPR, Colorado Public Radio. I'm going to try and find a link to CSSA, but the Colorado State Shooters Association, I think that's what it is, the Colorado State Shooters Association. They teamed up with Mountain State Legal Foundation, um, and they're suing the state of Colorado on this stuff. I hope it's successful. Obviously, that'd be a huge plus for all of us if this was successful. I'm also kind of happy that multiple groups are starting to do the lawsuit. I wish these groups would do low level stuff. That's kind of where we fight, is the day to day stuff. This is the yearly stuff. This is the stuff that takes years. We fight the sheriffs on a day to day basis. I wish they would help us out with that stuff, but I do hope that this is successful, and hopefully this works for us. Hopefully this affects us in a positive way. But if it doesn't, we have to be prepared to do those sacrifices. Go to a different state, buy the guns there, figure out a way to do it without risking too much here in the state of Colorado. For you, again, I know what my tolerance is for risking stuff. I know what I can afford to risk. I know that balance of my expected benefit and my known or perceived risk from a legal perspective. I don't know what yours is, but at some point we have to collectively. This includes gun stores. This includes FFLs. This includes you guys. Because if you don't, they're just going to keep pushing laws. Because as soon as they push laws, all you do is continue to follow those laws. At some point, we have to resist. And oh, by the way, most of the time, this is how laws are overturned. People get charged. You take it all the way to Supreme Court, and this is a different way outside of lawsuits where we can change laws. It's a pain in the ass. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot to ask for from people, but it's a temporary thing. It's a right now. We're asking right now, right? I have to be careful on how I say this, but a lot of you guys fell for the whole tariff stuff, and you guys were on board with the tariff stuff. And right now, the economy's kind of shitty. And a lot of you guys will say, well, that's just temporary. There has to be a change and adjustment. And that's economics, right? If you study economics, sometimes you have to do some cuts so that later on you have more money and stuff like that. That's just basic economics. I don't want to sit here and say whether I agree with the tariffs or not. I'm just saying a lot of you guys that are watching this video probably advocated for it. I get it. Some of you guys did not, but a lot of you guys advocated for the what's going on right now. And what you will say is, well, this is just temporary. We have to fucking tighten the belt and do all that stuff. That's what we're asking you to do with this law. We're asking you to push back. We're asking you to advocate for yourself. We're asking you to think about the future, not right now. And the future is asking you, and your kids and your grandkids and all that stuff is asking you to fight. Asking you to fight, asking you to sacrifice something, to put something on the line and fight. One way to fight is look for ways in this law where you can sacrifice and push back on and collectively defeat this fucking bill. Hopefully that lawsuit is successful and we no longer have to, but it may be years before we find anything out from that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we get issued a temporary injunction from the 10th Circuit. We were already surprised in New Mexico with the other stuff. So hopefully the lawsuit is successful, but we should already start thinking about, well, even if we get an injunction, that doesn't mean we'll be successful in the long run. So how are we going to sacrifice? You don't have to say it out loud, but fucking do it. And the biggest sacrifice is going to need to be coming from instructors who are fucking ready. You already have your websites ready to fucking take advantage of students like you already did with the new training requirements. I seen the fucking prices. I seen the fucking prices and what you did with those things, and that's just taking advantage of the stuff. I get it, services and all that stuff, but it almost seems like you want these laws to pass so you can charge more money, and instead of asking your people to advocate for themselves and fight for freedom, you're just like, fuck it, the law passed. I'm gonna capitalize on this law. And we made a video talking about how capitalism could potentially kill, and it's ultimately greed, right? It's not capitalism. Capitalism by itself is fucking beautiful. It's amazing. It's glorious. It's just you people that are so greedy that will take advantage and try and make a nickel off of every fucking little thing. We have to sacrifice. That freedom needs you to sacrifice right now. So it's we'll make more videos. Isaac will make a better video, hopefully a better version of this video to talk about how to advocate it. I just want to lay the foundation for this stuff. I want to talk about the immediate action that we can take right now, and that's start looking for ways that we can fight back. You have to ask yourself, where can I sacrifice? What can I do? Let's start doing that shit. If you're a instructor, if you are an FFL, how are you going to sacrifice? How are you going to push back against this? Um, we have our lawsuit. You haven't helped with that in any way, shape, or form. You haven't advocated for that. I haven't seen your social media post saying, "Hey, Edgar's is fighting, CSSA is fighting." And maybe I missed it. Maybe you are, and I don't see it. But I follow you most likely, and I just haven't seen it. So how are you going to sacrifice for this shit? And at some point, hopefully, we can get together and talk about how we can sacrifice. But I just want to start the conversation. I want to start this. Isaac, um, send the text. He reread it. I think I'm on my sixth version, my sixth read of this law to try and understand it 100%. He was rereading it and sharing notes, and that's one of the things he said. I just don't want to participate in this shit, and I've been struggling with it, and that's kind of where we're at. We can't participate in this fucking scheme anymore. And I hope that you join us. I hope you join us in this not participating in the scheme and not getting the permission slips and buying guns anyways in a way that doesn't get you arrested and taken to jail. Like we have to figure that shit out, or maybe it does, and you're the human that helps us change this stuff. Um, I'm not quite ready to talk about what I'm gonna do and what I'm willing to do and what I'm gonna risk and all that stuff. Part of it is not doing the classes and watching people get fucked in the ass by other instructors who are just greedy as fuck and are gonna charge probably $300 just so that people can exercise it right. This is what I don't get is humans saying, "Oh, fucking freedom, this shouldn't cost anything unless you can make a buck." This is the argument I had with the FFLs that charge $60 for transfers. The law, if you read the law, 1812 only allows you to charge $10. Now, I don't believe the government should be in charge of how much you charge and don't charge, but it is fucking weird how these humans who say they're against these laws will use the laws to benefit their pocketbook. I think that's a scummy fucking thing to do, a super fucking scummy thing to do. Nobody's saying don't make money. Nobody's saying don't live and survive off of your services. But there's some of you guys that are on purpose charging a fuck ton more than what should be charged for this stuff. What's reasonable for a service to be charged. And I fear that a lot of instructors are going to do that with this stuff. I'm asking you to join us. I'm asking you to not do it. I'm asking you to tell the fucking government to fucking fuck off. Um, in the way that in the best way that you possibly can. In the best way that you possibly can. Again, we'll follow this with ways that you can help, ways that you can advocate for yourself, ways that you can risk without going to jail or where it doesn't cost too much, where it's beneficial. We'll follow it up with something like that. Isaac and I will make a video about that. Um, I'm just at a point where Shit's getting rough, shit's getting weird, shit's getting overwhelming, shit's getting fucked, shit's getting stupid. Moving away doesn't help anything. You've seen what it did for Californians. They just moved here and now fucking it just followed them. A lot of you guys are like, well, now I live in Tennessee. Like, I'll see you there in 15 years. I'll see you there in 15 years. Not me personally, but these laws, these problems will see you there in 15, 20 years. I moved to Texas. Texas has always been not as awesome as it claims to be on the internet. So we'll see these laws in Texas soon enough. Soon enough. Austin is getting pretty big. Houston is getting pretty big. All of these major cities are getting pretty populated with humans that moved away from California that are okay with reasonable gun laws, and that's how it starts, with reasonable gun laws. Because some of you guys are part of the futtery. Some of you guys are watching this video and like, well, I can't do that, and I'm just gonna follow the law. That's what happens. That's how it goes. So for those of you guys that are like moving, or that's why I moved from Camirado and all that shit, like that one, that comment doesn't help anyone. Two, you ain't gonna have a fucking place to run when you keep running, because that's all you do is keep running. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully CSSA is successful in that lawsuit, and then this fucking video is absolutely fucking worthless. But this video is to talk about that a little bit, talk about how we're losing the grandfather clause, but also advocate for yourself, and let's collectively figure out how we can all individually, collectively figure out how we all can individually not follow this law and sacrifice, have to sacrifice.